Glory is to Shri Guru and Gopala Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya. Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Samaliti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurmani Pacharni Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschacha Dejatarani. So I am going to read the translation, and I believe this translation was spoken by Srila Prabhupada. So, it's called the Manak Shiksha by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. In this material world, which is progressing toward hell, there's always a blazing fire, and everyone is struggling hard without finding peace. Therefore, if the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter under the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, which are cooling like the shining of millions of moons. Someone has their phone on, and it's repeating what I'm saying. Do you hear that? Anyway. What's that? I could hear it anyway. Unless one takes... You hear that? I could hear it. Unless one takes shelter under the shade of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, it will be very difficult to approach Radha and Krishna. Anyone who does not establish the relationship with Lord Nityananda, this is my phone actually, somehow or other. Yeah, it was my phone. I know I was hearing something. I'm not in that much illusion. Okay. Somehow it went online. Let me just check this. Whew. Sorry for the... So, here we go again. It will be very difficult to approach Radha Krishna. Anyone who does not establish their relationship with Lord Nityananda is simply spoiling their boon of a human birth and the animal propensities of sense gratification. Never saying the names of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, they become absorbed in so-called material enjoyment, and their academic education and birth in a high family or great nation will not protect them at the time of death. They become maddened by a false concept of bodily life, and thus they have forgotten their eternal relationship with Lord Nityananda. Such forgetful persons accept the illusory energy as factual. When you achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda, then you will be able to approach Radha Krishna. Firmly catch hold of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. The lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are not illusion. They are a fact, and anyone who engages in the transcendental loving service of Lord Nityananda immediately achieves their transcendental position on the spiritual platform, which is eternal and blissful. Therefore, always try to catch the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Narottam Das Thakur says, "My dear Lord Nityananda, I am very unhappy, so I am praying to you to make me happy. Please keep me in a corner of your lotus feet." So, today is Lord Nityananda's appearance day, and we're going to be speaking a few words about Lord Nityananda. So, Om Ganat Timidanda Shah Gananjana Shalakya Chakshur Unmiditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So I'm going to start the class by reading one verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's Adi Leela, chapter 5, text 7. And this is a verse written or spoken by Swarup Damodar Goswami in glorification of Lord Nityananda. And I will read the Bengali. Sankarshana karanatoya shahi garboda shai chapayobdi shai sheshascha Yashamsa kalasa nitya nandakya rama shananam mamastu. Translation, word by word, is as follows. Sankarshana, Mahasankarshana in the spiritual sky. Karunatoya Shayi, Karunadak Vishnu, who lies in the causal ocean. Garbhoda Shayi, Garbhodak Vishnu, who lies in the Garbhodak ocean of the universe. Cha and Paya Abdi Shayi, Shirodak Vishnu, who lies in the ocean of milk. Shesha, Sheshanag, the couch of Vishnu. Cha and Yasha, whose Angsa, plenary portions, Kala, and parts of the plenary portions. Sa, he, Nityananda Akya, known as Lord Nityananda. Rama, Lord Balaram. Sharanam, shelter. Mama, my. Astu, let there be. And the translation is, may Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshan, Sheshanag, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karuna ocean, Garbha ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions. And Srila Prabhupada's purport, Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami has recorded this verse in his diary to offer his respectful obeisances to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. This verse also appears as the seventh of the first 14 verses of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, of course, this verse really summarizes the ontology or the nature of Lord Nityananda. Of course, we understand, as is the famous verse that I often quote, Advaita Chuta Nadi Rananta Rupa Madhyam Puranam Purusham Naviyovanam Cha. That the Lord has many different manifestations. Yesterday we were talking about Lord Varaha. And there's so many incarnations of the Lord. Of course, Jayadeva Goswami lists the 10 primary incarnations or appearances of the Supreme Personality of God, but they're unlimited. But the original personality, the full manifestation, rather than saying that they're different, they're the same, Advaita Chuta Nadi, Ananta Rupa, unlimited forms. The original manifestation of the Lord in its fullness is Govinda. Govindam Adipurasham Tamaham Bhajami. And Govinda, Krishna Vrindavan, expands, first expansion, is Balaram. And Balaram is in one sense he is non-different from Krishna, but a different mood for the sake of pastimes. And sometimes that mood entails not obeying or disagreeing with Krishna. Like you see, when Krishna wanted Arjuna to marry Subhadra, but that wasn't Balaram's intention. Balaram had made the arrangement for Subhadra to marry Duryodhana. And so there's a difference of opinion. Anyway, you see it in the Mahabharata, sometimes there's differences of opinion between Krishna and Balaram. And that's sometimes quite confusing. You know, are there two gods or one God? But there's one God, and for the sake of pastimes, and last night we described what Leela was, or pastimes was, for the sake of tasting ras, he appears differently, simultaneously, in the same place or at different places. He's inconceivable. Chincha. So, that Balaram, he's always engaged, according to the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, in serving the Lord in that tasting of ras. And he serves the Lord in many menial ways, too, as described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, that Balaram, who is non-different from Nityananda, Balaram Hoila Datai, serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his Brahman thread, his sitting place. We can even say this temple is a manifestation, or all the temples of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are manifestations of Balaram. The altar, the Singhasana, all the paraphernalia. So that's why we have to take care of Krishna's paraphernalia very nicely. And of course, the kitchen is sometimes mentioned as the abode of Srimati Radharani, which is interesting. So anyway, Lord Nityananda is that Balaram, and he's serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in tasting ras. And we already described the quadruple forms. Also serves as the umbrella, the bed, the thread, the pillow. And we find that in the different appearances of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when the Lord expands, the Lord also has his expansion serving him, which, like Lord Ramachandra, you have Lakshman. So Lakshman is rendering the same type of service that Balaram renders to Krishna, or Nityananda represents, Nityananda does for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And even you see in the pastimes of Ram and Lakshman that there is sometimes disagreement, that Lakshman disagrees with Ram in certain times when he wanted Ram to test, when Ram wanted to test Sita Devi by entering into the fire or dropping her off in the forest later on. So anyway, so that is the ontological position of Lord Nityananda. He's Balaram Hoylatatai. So here's a little bit of his biography. He appeared in Radha Desh, and his father's name was Hadai Pandit. His mother's name was Padmavati. And his father, it's described, was extremely attached to him. He couldn't go anywhere without Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda appeared in the year 1474. So when he was very young, he enacted many of the pastimes of Krishna Chandra when Krishna appeared previously in the previous yuga. Sometimes he would play in the pastimes of Krishna's appearance, and there would be a devotee who would play Lord Brahma. There would be devotees who would play Vasudeva and Devaki, and there'd be the marriage between Vasudeva and Devaki. There would be devotees who were playing the part of Putana, devotees playing the part of the cart demon, devotee playing the part of Krishna as the butter thief, the Kaliya serpent pastime, the Talavan pastime, Bakasura pastime, Agasura. This way, he enacted with his friends many of the pastimes that Krishna Chandra enacted years ago. Even the stealing of the clothes pastimes, the gopis crying when Krishna left Vrindavan, Krishna entering Mathura, the pastime of Kubja. Amazing. And even Lord Nityananda and his friends enacted the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra. And there's a particular instance when they were enacting the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra, and of course we had Lord Nityananda, who assumed the position of Lakshman. When they were enacting the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra, and Nityananda was Lakshman, then Indrajit, who was, of course, Ravana's son, fired the Shakti Shila weapon at Lakshman. And then what happened is, because Lord Nityananda was playing the part of Lakshman, he fell unconscious. And nobody could bring him back to consciousness. And everyone started weeping around him. Such a dramatic performance completely into the pastime because Lord Nityananda is Lakshman. Of course, Lakshman is an expansion of Lord Nityananda, but they're non-different. And so, eventually, the devotees who are enacting this playful pastime with Lord Nityananda remember that Lord Nityananda had given them the instruction that if he went unconscious, they should have Hanuman fly to the Gandhamandana hill and bring back the Gandhamandana hill with the Mrityu Sanjeevani, and then they did that, they enacted that pastime, and then Lord Nityananda regained consciousness. So for this way, Lord Nityananda was enjoying his childhood pastimes, and for 12 years he did this at home. Then what happened is a sannyasi visited the home of Hriday Pandit. And this sannyasi said to Hriday Pandit, after Hriday Pandit said, "My dear sannyasi, whatever you want," this is the tradition, of course, it's a sannyasi would go to someone's home. And very similar to the story when Viswamitra Muni visited Dasarath. And Viswamitra Muni visited Dasarath, and he asked for Ram. In the same way, this Pandit, this Brahmin, this sannyasi, he asked for Nityananda. He said, "I don't have any servant. Can you give me your son?" And he was only 11 years old, that is Lord Nityananda. And so Hriday Pandit was really conflicted when he heard this particular request of the sannyasi, and he did it because that was the culture of that particular time. So Hriday Pandit is described, fasted for 3 months after Lord Nityananda left. He couldn't maintain his life after Lord Nityananda left him. So one may ask, why did Lord Nityananda do this to his devotee in parental affection? And the reason is, of course, 2 reasons. One reason is he wanted his devotee to experience this vipralamba seva, this intense mood of separation, as the residents of Vrindavan did. They also experienced that. And that vipralamba seva, vipralamba, feeling separation, brings one closer to the Supreme Personality of God, because we know the non-different nature of the Lord's name, the Lord's remembrance, the Lord's paraphernalia, and the Lord's devotees. So it's not the same in this material world when we feel separation from someone. In this material world, when we feel separation from someone, we're actually separated. We may be thinking, "Oh dear," whatever, if they're not spiritual personalities. But they may be thinking something completely different. They may be thinking, "I'm happy to not be with that person anymore." And we're thinking, "I wish he was with me." There's a difference in psychology and difference in consciousness. But when we think of Krishna, chant his holy names, and we're supposed to be executing our devotional service in the mood of separation. O Govinda, Jugayitam Nimishena, Chakshusha Praveshayitam. Shunyayitam Jagat Sarvam, Govinda Virahena Me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing us in this way. Feeling your separation. We should feel that separation as we're chanting the Lord's holy names. And that will bring us closer. Anyway, so the second reason, I said there's the second reason, was for mercy upon the conditioned souls. Just like when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, one reason was mercy for the conditioned souls. The other one was the vipralamba in regard to his wife and his family. So, first thing he did, after he started traveling, is he went to Pandarapura, and he met Lakshmi Pati Tirtha, and it's described in one biography at least, he was initiated by him. And some biographies describe him being initiated by Madhavendra Puri, but Lakshmipati Tirtha was the guru of Madhavendra Puri. And so for 20 years, Lord Nityananda embarked on pilgrimage around India. He went to Gaya, Vrindavan, Hastinapur, Dwarka, Ayodhya, Guhaka, where the, let's say the village, or Guha, the associate of Lord Ramchandra, lived. And there he fainted for 3 days, remembering the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra. He went to Sri Parvata, where Parvati, that is Lord Shiva's wife, cooked for him. He went to Badarik Ashram, and Vyasadeva showed him hospitality. But the whole time he was preaching Krishna consciousness. And when people opposed him, there's an interesting story that the Buddhists one time approached him, and Lord Nityananda asked them a question, but they didn't say anything. I guess they were void. So he just kicked them. And of course, they get kicked by Lord Nityananda is a blessing. Just like when Shivananda Sain was kicked by Lord Nityananda. One time the devotees were on their way to Jagannath Puri, and Shivananda Sain, was taking care of the taxes and taking care of all the material facilities for the devotees, had to stay behind. And Lord Nityananda, showing his mercy sometimes with anger, Lord Nityananda was feeling hungry. And he said, "Where's this Shivananda Sain? I curse his sons to die because I'm so hungry." Of course, the Lord does not experience mundane hunger like we do. Obviously, he's hunger for the love of his devotees, and this is a rasa, reciprocation, a lila of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then, eventually, Shivananda Sain's wife started bawling, and then Shivananda Sain comes back. This shows the devotion one has to have for Lord Nityananda. Comes back and he says to his wife, "Why are you crying?" It's, "My sons have been cursed by Lord Nityananda." And then Shivananda Sain, having so much devotion, he says, "Let them die because of the inconvenience we have shown Lord Nityananda." So he goes before Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda kicks him. He says, "Now I got your mercy." So one has to have that faith in Lord Nityananda, although he does act sometimes in ways that might be considered different than most sadhus. Like even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tested his devotees, Srivas Thakur. He said to Srivas Thakur, "Why do you host this Lord Nityananda? Nobody knows his family background. Nobody knows, who he is." And this Avaduta, actually Lord Chaitanya said this, Avaduta. And then Srivas Thakur said, even if Lord Nityananda marries a Muslim girl or goes into a liquor house, I will not be deterred from my conviction that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, anyway, Lord Nityananda, getting back to the story, Lord Nityananda kicked the Buddhists, and they all got some mercy because of that. Eventually, Lord Nityananda met Madhavendra Puri. And in the biography, it's described that when they saw each other, they recognized each other, they embraced each other, and cried and talked to each other for many, many days and nights. They were inseparable for some period of time. Oops. Notes. Then, let's see, after that, Lord Nityananda went to Jagannath Puri and saw Lord Jagannath with 4 arms, and then went to Vrindavan. And he went to Vrindavan. He resided in this place that Nityananda Vaitaka, his place right opposite Radha Kund, which is his sitting place where he was waiting for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to manifest his pastimes. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested his pastimes as a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead after he took initiation from Ishwara Puri, he told the devotees, a great personality will come to Navadvip within a few days. And Lord Chaitanya revealed, this is a quote, last night I had a wonderful dream. A chariot came and stood in front of my door. The chariot's flag had a palm leaf drawn on it. This chariot was meant to carry one from this temporary material existence to the absolute reality. In other words, Lord Lord Nityananda, if we take shelter of Lord Nityananda, his chariot will carry us back to the spiritual world. So important. Of course, the Acharyas described we take shelter of Lord Nityananda to get the adhikar, the right to approach Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then, by approaching Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, one can come to the ecstatic platform, and by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one can approach the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan and understand finally the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna. So this is the process by which we can eventually come to that platform. So what does it mean to take shelter of Lord Nityananda on this chariot taking you back to home, back to Godhead? It means we have to take shelter of Lord Nityananda's preaching mood. The mood, but it's not just preaching. It's the mood of preaching with compassion. Preaching with compassion means to tolerate. Like Lord Nityananda, he tolerated something for us that would have been intolerable. We get angry even if someone cuts us off and we're driving a car. Right? At least I do. But what to speak if someone hit you on the head with a pot and you were bleeding and you still felt loving towards them? That is the mood of Lord Nityananda, right? Praying for Lord Chaitanya to give them his mercy in spite of bleeding, in spite of course, the Lord doesn't experience pain, but at least by the Leela it appeared that he was. That is Lord Nityananda's association. If we can and we see that Srila Prabhupada, as a representative of Lord Nityananda, exhibited that tolerance, serving personalities such as ourselves to bring us to Krishna consciousness. It's amazing. You're going down to the Bowery in New York with all the street people. I'm not going to use the B word. It's not politically correct. Serving and waiting on line for the bathroom even in 22nd Avenue. There's only one bathroom with a shower. Can you imagine? And all these mlechas who smell bad. And that is Lord Nityananda. So if we want to be fit to receive the mercy of Lord Nityananda, this is the mood we should have. Ajata Shatra Shanta Sadhava Sadhabhushana, as Lord Kapila describes. What? Tatikshava. That's the mood of Lord Nityananda. Tatikshava. What does Tatikshava mean? Anyone know? Tolerant. Karunika. What does that mean? Oh, that's an easy one. Merciful. Surida. Sarva Dehinam. Means everybody. Sarva Dehinam. Even being compassionate to a little bug, an ant. An ant. That's, can you imagine that? Even like Prabhupada was compassionate, like even Prabhupada was in his mosquito net and there were mosquitoes inside and the devotees wanted to kill all the mosquitoes and Prabhupada said, no. And of course when they attacked, that's another thing. Because according to the Vedic system, if someone's a poison giver, attacks you, sets fire, etc., steals your wife, you can kill him. But Prabhupada was showing compassion to all living entities. So that's what it means to be a follower of Lord Nityananda. So let's continue with this. This is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's description. The passenger of that chariot, that's Lord Nityananda, was a colossal figure. He carried a plow on his large shoulders. He was moving about as if he were restless. In his left hand he carried a renunciate's water pot, which was wrapped over by cane reeds. On top he wore a blue cloth, and his lower dress was also blue. A beautiful earring pierced his left ear. This is a description of Lord Nityananda. His whole appearance and demeanor gave me the impression that he was Lord Balaram. Then, speaking, he repeated the question at least 10 or 20 times, saying, "Does this house not belong to Nimai Pandit?" That's Lord Chaitanya, of course. "I am your brother. Tomorrow we shall get to know each other." And then Lord Chaitanya was describing this particular dream. And in this dream, as Lord Chaitanya was describing the dream, the Lord went into an ecstatic trance and entered into the mood of Balaram. He said, "Bring me wine, bring me wine." And it was so loud that it broke it's described here, burst the eardrums of the devotees. And then, of course, there's an interaction, and we don't have much time. Murari Gupta said, I can understand from this that a great personality will come soon. And Lord Chaitanya said to Haridas Thakur, "Go and find out where this great personality is." And then they began to search all over the place, and the devotees could not find Lord Nityananda. But then Lord Chaitanya brought all the devotees to Nandanacharya's house, and finally they found Lord Nityananda. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embarked upon the Vyasa Puja of Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda, there's such an interesting interaction between Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Nityananda grabbed the articles and started to worship the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there was back and forth interaction. One was grabbing, I guess, the incense or whatever articles they were offering, the chamara, and grabbed them from them. Let me worship you. Back and forth. So there's a loving relationship that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had with Lord Nityananda. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested Lord Nityananda, one of the first instructions, and this is door-to-door Sankirtan, you should go preach and ask everyone to chant the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And of course that's where the pastimes, or when the pastimes of Jagai and Madai occurred. Whoops. I think that's all we have time for. Anyway, so I'm sure this evening... Oh, they're going to... No, I was told it was at regular time this morning. Yeah, she said at the same time. Sorry about that. I'm sure this evening we're going to have a more complete philosophical exposition by Mother Urmila. So sorry we only started with the descriptions, but anyway, the point is we should be dedicated to helping others. Para upakara. This is a devotee's consciousness. This is the mood of Lord Nityananda. How to help others. This is the mood of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada.
Adi Purusham Ramaham Bhaja bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Nandar Bhagom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Andani yasa sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Vipan Vikayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami 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 Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami
Namaho Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Saminiti Namante Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Samini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracha Nengi Sesha Shunyavani Paschacha Tacharande Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Shiva Sari Gaurmati Vrindana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Dvaita Gadada Siva Sati Gaurata Vrinda That's Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Siva Sati Gaurata Vrinda Not Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Siva Sati Gaurata Vrinda Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare, Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Haji Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Haribo, Haribo. Nijai, 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 Nijai. Nijai, 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 Nijai. Nijai, 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 Nijai. China, China, go, Haribo, 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 Jai go, Haribo, Haribo, Jai Rat, Hagarukinana, Rat, Hagarukinana, Rate, Kinana, Hagarukinana. Narad, Hagarukinana, Rana, Hagarukinana, Rate. Narad, hey, Rane, Rate, Rate. Hey, Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe. Hey, Jai Om Vishnu Paramahansa.